How's it going, guys? My name is Maikya and welcome back to another video. Over the last week we have received a plethora of rumours, mostly of which are false. But hey, let's join in on the bandwagon and look at them anyway. Most of these are fan-made Pokemon created by community members with an extreme attention to detail. Now, before we get into the video, be sure to drop a like down below as your support is greatly appreciated. Also press the subscribe button and the notification bell to know when I upload next. So the first rumour in the past week is the rumour that there is going to be a triple type Pokemon. The Pokemon is said to be a main legendary Pokemon for Pokemon Sword and Shield and is said to be protected by 2 Wolf Legendaries. This is argued to be a Dragon, Fire and Electric typing and has a similar resemblance to the Hill Giant we see in the Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer. Next up we have the rumours of 2 new evolutions and not 1 but 2 professors. Now the 4chan rumour, yeah I know it's 4chan but hey, take it with a pinch of salt, states that these 2 evolutions will be a Steel type and a Poison type with the names Titanion and Corrosion respectively. Now I'm not sure how believable this is but we can certainly hope for it. Now this rumour states that the Pokemon professors are called Hawthorne and Holly. Now I could definitely see this being a possibility regardless of rumours due to the high abundance of these plants within a British environment. Our next major rumour is covering a previous rumour we've actually talked about before with the strange swirl logo that is apparent in the Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer quite a lot. We can now see that this is familiar to the Backer World Cup logo from the Pokemon movie Zoroark Master of Illusions. In the movie we see a scene in which Serebii is flying through this place called Crown City in the Sinnoh region. And on this lamppost that it passes, we see these flags with the Backer logo on it, which looks very similar to the Swirl logo. Now, the Pokemon Company actually shared this scene with us not so long ago, so no reason really why, but we're kind of speculating that this could be a reason. And another interesting thing is that this was in Sinnoh, which means that there's a lot of forward thinking going on if this is the case. The next rumour we encountered was the potential leaked bird Pokemon. Now this one hasn't been disproved yet and we can actually see that the Japanese writing is next to different parts of the Pokemon's biology to explain its aesthetics and its functions. Now we've had translations for the Japanese parts of the Pokemon itself and they all seem to be clear with no errors in the translation, which means that this was either made by a Japanese person who's a fan of the series or a genuine Pokemon creator. Let me know what you think. Following on from that rumour, we've got the speculation that there will be Galar Forms for the Johto Pokemon in the Galar region. This one's from 4chan again, so take it with a pinch of salt. It also argues that there's several professors studying different areas. Apparently the second professor is studying Galarian Forms and that some Galarian Forms that you receive are actually a Johto starter variant. Now this is quite believable considering in X and Y we actually receive the Kanto starters in Kalos and next generation we got a Kanto game. So could it be that we get the Johto starters in a Galarian form, and then obviously we'll be looking forward to something like Let's Go Johto in the next generation. We also saw the possibility of Pokemon Bank returning, which would be a really wise move for Nintendo. Now quite a while ago, Junichi Masuda stated in an interview about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, he mentioned about the Pokemon Core RPG game, which we now know as Pokemon Sword and Shield. He said that Pokemon would be transferable from all previous games up until that point. He argues that Game Freak would like to avoid the issue that they had between Gold, Silver and Crystal and Ruby and Sapphire due to the hardware being a different system essentially. Although it's seen that they could be doing Pokemon Bank ported to the Switch, I also argue that there could be some links to Pokemon Go and that it's utilised a hell of a lot more than we think. I think they're going to use what they did in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee as a kind of baseline for what they want to do next. Now, our next rumour suggested that Skarmory was going to get a Galarian variant, and how this links to what we can expect from Pokemon Shield with the Gen 2 variants being a possibility. This theory also argued that we were going to get Sycamore coming over to Kalos as a second professor. However, this seems very unlikely as it's only really been done with Professor Oak before. We also received some anonymous intel about there being 100 plus Pokemon added in Generation 8 and the possibility of a free camera instead of a fixed camera. The first rumour about 100 Pokemon being added to the Generation 8 games actually suggests that there will be 117 additional Pokemon. Now, from what I can remember, this seems like the biggest addition of Pokemon, or one of the biggest, since Generation 1 itself. Now, according to this source, we see 400 Pokemon in the regional decks from other regions, and this can be seen as quite believable due to the fact in the trailer we saw a lot of Pokemon that weren't actually from the Galar region, and were just from Pokemon from other regions. Now, following on from this, the rumour argues that there will be mostly rotating cameras in places such as most of the routes and all of the gyms. However, in tight spaces and cutscenes, there'll be no free camera. It'll be an entirely fixed camera, entirely set up by a Game Freak. So the Bug Dragon Pokemon that we all believed was real was actually confirmed fake this week. Its creator, Throwrock, actually showed us a process and how he created it in just one day. I suggest checking it out as it's amazing how he managed to pull that off. Following on from this, we also had a Mega Zeraora actually leaked and arguably created, and this was very, very fastly and within 24 hours debunked by a community member who suggested that the Pokeball Sparks had been removed very badly. Now, I really appreciate the community's effort to try and fool us, but you're not going to fool us this time, guys. Our final rumour of the week. There's a possibility that there'll be a different legendary to one that we've been theorizing about. The legendary Pokemon is said to be based on a Griffin and it is heavily, heavily inspired by the themes of law and justice. It states that the Griffin Pokemon is not one to be taken lightly and is the guardian of nature. Apparently, it should be kept away from its rival Franticord. So let me know what you guys think of this idea. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my first episode of the Rumour Recap series. Let me know what you think of this idea in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe and press that notification bell to know when I upload next. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and I'll see you very soon for another video.